Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Tactical Corner. Today we discuss Grey Knights versus Dark Eldar. In this little segment I do every week to touch on the battle report from earlier this week. Let's begin! Hello and welcome to another Tactical Corner. Today, 3D battles in the space place. So I ended up playing against Sam and his Grey Knights on my really cool asteroid table that the Patreons helped build. He brought 1,250 points, a couple of dreadnoughts, characters, and a few strike squads. To be honest, when I saw his army, I was very surprised by how small the army was. So I was wary. My biggest threat I knew was going to be the Storm Talon and the Dreadnoughts. Now the cool thing about open war missions is that strategically you should really be very open to any strategic challenges that it might bring. Like, for example, the ruse I got was to ambush, and I was able to redeploy 3 of my units. But in tables like the table, the Astro table that we were playing on is like a whole other experience, because you have to play in 3D. You know, not only do you worry about the horizontal plane, but all of a sudden you have to be figuring out what to do with the vertical plane. And even though I did have a lot of things that can fly, my opponent made very good use of things like teleportation and astral aim and the Dreadnought's longer range to really put a pressure on me earlier in the game. Now, my opponent did make a mistake by spreading out his army. I feel like if the strike squad that got sent against that Venom would have gone to the other side where the main fighting was, he might have been able to turn the tide of the battle and kept most of his army alive, his Librarian and his Purifiers. Now, on my end, he hit me very hard, and I was very lucky to come out with as much as I did intact. My Warlord was dead, and I essentially only had 1 Witch and a Succubus left alive out of all that combat. Now, he could have played a little bit more aggressively and kind of made sure that I wasn't able to deep strike those Hellions in the backfield, but all in all, my opponent brought the battle to me, and that was definitely something that I was not expecting, and something that kind of threw me for a loop. I thought he was going to sit back and shoot more, but I was pleasantly surprised to see that even though his army that was relatively small, how hard of a punch it really did provide, and how resilient his characters were especially. Now my plan was simple. I wanted to hit him hard at range and just kind of pick him apart piece by piece, but as soon as my Raiders and Venoms had gone down with most of my infantry, I was down a foot slogging, and I was going to have to wade through the entire unit. Now, ideally, he should have probably deployed across the bridge from me, about 24 inches away, and just blasted me with his Storm Bolt of Fire, and just used that to his advantage. All in all, this was just a very fun, entertaining, thematic game, and I cannot wait to play on this table again, but with definitely more of a competitive mission in mind, not just like a let's kill stuff and try to kill the warlords. At the end of the day, my MVPs were, of course, my Ravager, with the Lances, and my Mandrakes that stayed alive enough and put wounds on some of the Dreadnoughts. Well, let me know what you think. Do you enjoy small games like this, or do you prefer larger games? Leave a comment down below, and become a patron today and get exclusive access to more stuff / really cool things. A list of all the Patreons is coming next. Thank you to those that patron.
It's an exclusive. We're playing the game.